Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Marsha with Marsha's Mind, and this is the channel where I bring you positive information, positive videos to help you be happier and create a better version of yourself. I talk about the law of attraction, I talk about self-help books, and my experience and journey with law of attraction. So, if you're interested in today's video, I will tell you what's on my mind. So, what's on my mind today? A book that I read that takes place in fiction land and is a self-help book at the same time. What? Stay tuned. Hey guys, so today I want to go over this book with you. I read it, I loved it, I marked it. So it's a fictional book, but Martha Beck is the author, and Martha Beck is a life coach. She's a best-selling author, and she specializes in helping individuals and groups achieve their personal and professional goals. So I want to tell you about this book, and then I will read some stuff from the book that really talk about things that I talk about here on this channel that a lot of you may think I'm nuts, but no, I'm not. It's in the spiritual community and the law of attraction community. The things in here really bring to light some things that'll help you really just open your eyes and enlighten you, I think. If you're new, I welcome you to this channel. If you're not, welcome back. And please consider subscribing if you're interested. And hit the bell notification to be notified of any videos. And if you like these kind of videos, thumbs up, guys, and feel free to leave a comment. First of all, this book is an allegory. So that means it's a story with a hidden meaning, and the hidden meaning is a self-help book. Every character in this book represents a part of ourself. So Diana, the main character, is the soul. Roy, her love interest, is the ego. And the wild boar in there represents her higher self. There's a little bit more in there too, but I wanted to go over a couple of things. But Diana, she's the main character. Martha wanted to make her come across as like a little girl. A lot of times people say, if you don't cry like a girl, a little girl is supposed to be weak, right? Well, a lot of times, a lot of us come from a place of being broken or depressed and not happy and upset, but we come out of it and we change. I can really relate to this because a lot, like if you tune into this channel, odds are you have something in your life that's depressing you, or you want to change, or you want to make a better life for yourself. And that's why I'm here, just to spread my journey on how I'm bettering my life and how I got out of a deep depression. So let's go on and talk about Diana herself. So the boar in the book, Martha Beck says that it's a true story about pigs. When they get out of the domestic farm and they get into the wild, they turn into a boar. They start getting the hair and the tusks. They kind of develop into their environment. And this is kind of a magic to go wild and be yourself. She wants you to go wild and be yourself. The transformation is magical. It's a transformation of being happy in your reality. And it's interesting because where she takes place in this, she is in the forest. And a lot of people, when they are ready to wake up, they go out into the forest to be alone. Jesus did it. Buddha did it. Martha Beck says Byron Katie went to the desert. Eckhart Tolle sat in the forest. Matter of fact, he was homeless for like 2 years or something like that. I heard a story about. And so people, when they are ready to change, they want to go out into nature. How many times do you feel so much better after being on a camping trip or a hiking trip, or just being in nature or the park or sitting on the grass? So there's things in here I wanted to read just real quick from the book. Maybe it'll get your motor running, get you sparked up to read it. And I'll be quick, guys. I know you don't want to hear me read, but I really don't know how to express this any other way other than to read it. Okay, there's a part in the book where she encounters a snake, and that our angels, our guardians, they won't interfere in your life because we have free will, but if we ask, they will be happy to help us. So this section in this book talks about how the boar was so happy that Diana asked for help. And it's kind of like showing how we can ask for help. There's a part that says, Diana's like, oh, I don't have anything loving to say to a poisonous snake. And the boar says, well, then say it to yourself. It's the same thing. As if that's not obvious. And Diana says, huh? Okay, then she remembers how the boar reacted when she screamed for help. Ooh, a request, how lovely. Okay, so then she says, so yes, indeed, you've got the first 2 steps. When you feel afraid, breathe deeply, then ask for help from me. Which is to say, ask for help? Yes, love. From whom? From myself? Yes, 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 Piglet. From the self that was never born and will never die, that is life without form or limit. Because you asked. If you don't ask, I can't help, see? That's the way everything works. And then she says, no matter what, just repeat after me. Be well, my dear one. Seriously, Diana says. The boar repeats, be well, my dear one. Diana sighs, okay, whatever. Be well, my dear one. Be safe, my love. Be safe, my love. Live in joy and peace, sweet friend. Live in joy and peace, sweet friend. As Diana says this, something in her softens. It's stupid, she tells herself. It's corny, it's trite. Again, she feels tears stinging her eyes. So, essentially, everything is energy. We are all energy. We are all creation. We are all one. So everything in life is you. So that's kind of what it's saying. And also, you can ask for help from your higher self, because that is you too. There's a part in here where it says, telling the truth makes you physically stronger and lying makes you physically weaker. Try it, go on. Anytime you do something that opposes your true nature, darling, you're lying. Remember how much your gut hurt when you were working at Super Big Mart? Well, that was because I had irritable bowel syndrome. The doctor said so, remember? Your kind have all sorts of names for your various tales. Panic attacks, addiction, depression, tension, headaches. But the universal cause is tameness. Rejection of your true nature. What did you do when you took that job at Super Big Mart and stayed with it no matter how much you hated it? Migraines, ulcer. It was the only way I could pay rent. Myself, please make this stop. Ow, you're hurting me. She's hurting herself. And she goes on to say, just like any civilized person, you spent practically your whole life torturing an innocent wild creature, starved it, then force-fed it, cut it, cursed it, driven it to exhaustion, imprisoned it with other creatures who tormented it. What? Diana says. The innocent wild creature to which I refer, my darling, is you. What am I supposed to do about it? Well, as I said, you can decide not to swallow poison again, not with your body, not with your mind, not with your life. So it kind of shows, what are we doing with ourselves? And we're kind of hurting ourselves. This also says, meta self, darling. Meta, meaning beyond. Something other than the body you think is you. Okay? Your meat self, your physical self, is as helpless without its meta self as that deer who so kindly fed you the other day. Call the meta self your soul, your angel, the force, the intelligence of nature, the ghost in the machine. Call it whatever you want, but learn to use it. Meta self, Diana realizes, is far, far more intelligent than her usual thinking. If it's like a computer, it has access to the cloud, to truths from all times and places. She still finds it challenging to think of matter as solid, knowing as she does that it's just another frequency of energy. How could she possibly have invested this clunky three-dimensional world with reality, making it appear to be an actual thing when of course it isn't? After some experimentation, watching how the meat self's brain works, Diana realizes that it exists only in a moment it calls now. Her consciousness ripples through the nothingness from which space-time emerges, creating a series of incredibly brief nows with a universe in each one, so that from her meat self's perspective, Objects seem permanent and time seems to pass. Diana knows that she could make another reality appear just by imagining it, but she wants to play in this now realm because it is magnificent fun. What a wonderful, wonderful playground, she grins. I know, once you know what you really are, this world is a joyride, but remember, when you thought you were just a meat self, that part can be quite dreadful. No kidding. She can recall her meat self's tiny little memories now, its persistent illusions of loss and abandonment and pain. And so herself says, the boar, now you know you can form matter with consciousness. She's talking to a wolf, and she's talking about someone dying, like one of the pack. And she says, yes, the pack misses Aru's meat self very much. Then he says, but his meta self is always here. But that's just the part about, you know, the meta self is still around. Because we are energy, and can't be created nor destroyed, only transferred. You're probably like, what are you reading? So this is the wild boar, which is her higher self talking to Diana, you know. And now, you know, Diana is us, even though Martha says it's the soul, but okay, I don't understand that part, but anyway, it says to me, Diana says, where did you come from, myself? How did you get to me? Oh, darling, says herself, the boar. I've been here all along. You just couldn't see me until you completely released all attachment to matter. Then you became the master of matter, you see, and what was present in one realm of reality was able to enter another. What humans call a miracle, but it's quite natural, happens all the time. I didn't disappear, love. You did. You lost sight of me. That is, you lost sight of yourself because you changed frequencies, fell back into an old belief system, one you shared with Roy and most other humans. That's all. You're just practicing human consciousness. To know yourself as light, dear, is the nature of consciousness. To know yourself as darkness is the nature of humanness. You must all do both, and there's no way to do it wrong. Everything that's happened is just as it should be. Anna tilts her head like a curious puppy. But this meat self doesn't seem all that powerful. It feels so small and separate. Well, the human meat self is fancier than you might think. It can reach from this apparent reality, actual solid seeming matter, into the absolute beyond all existence and non-existence. It can join with the infinite intelligence that made the universe, that forms space-time. It can always find out what to do. Then, why don't I know? Well, you can only know what to do now. In other words, in another now, the instructions may change entirely. I just love how they just talk about things like that. And she has tasks in here that will help you. They're in the back of the book, and I'm not going to go over those because you'd have to get the book to read it. But there is one where she says that, you know, we tend to grip the memory of trauma and imagine terrifying futures that make us the most anxious, neurotic, destructive creatures on earth. Learning the present moment as fundamentally safe. Learning to see the present moment as fundamentally safe and benevolent is bewilderment bedrock and the purpose of the first task. And she talks about how you can, you know, breathe slowly, deep even breathing. So it's just really cool. It's such a fun story, and as well as a self-help book. So check it out, guys. She's a best-selling author, and I will also go over her other book, Finding Your North Star. I read this one as well, so I'll go over that one sometime soon. And I just wanted to share this book with you. Okay, it's called Diana Herself, An Allegory of Awakening by Martha Beck.